Welcome back, everyone. Meet Tom Bell. He is the author of My Dad is a Freak. Great to see you.
It's great to be here. Thanks very much.
Well, it's nice to know that we have a man who's a self-admitted freak. I think that's wonderful.
Not self-admitted.
Okay.
That name was foisted upon
Appointed.
me. Yes.
Oh, so,
I think it's a term of endearment.
It is
Okay.
totally.
I haven't really checked my sources that well. But
So explain this. We're looking at the book here, and I opened it up if you want just a good laugh, a good read. If you have kids, you will so appreciate this. Tell us where the title came from.
well, that name was, given to me by my wife and my sisters. I tend to kind of overreact to certain situations.
No.
In what they think is an unreasonable way.
Okay.
So,
Can you give us an example?
well, sure. For instance, when we were pregnant with our first, I was 45 years old at the time. And we went to the birthing classes, followed all the rules. The men had to wear the fat sacks around.
Oh, yeah.
Right? The
I
concrete.
made my husband do that.
So I figured that pretty much got me up to speed with what to expect. So my wife goes into labor, and my first Tommy comes out with this cone head. His head is shaped like it's like my wife gave birth to a traffic pylon. So I'm thinking, how come no one told me about this? Not one doctor, no one in my life has told me that the kid could come out with a cone head.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking he's going to be a wizard on every Halloween for the rest of his life.
Oh, no.
So, and of course, my wife had a 12-hour labor. The doctors are busy. The nurses are bustling. No one wants to address my concerns.
Right.
So I had to spend the next week, whenever I could, Google searching cone heads, pinheads, pylons. I had to figure out if this thing was going to go away. It did. It popped back in shape.
Yeah. So the whole book is the story, basically, of your days. You owned a bar, which
I owned a bar.
I read was okay financially, really great socially. So he went from bachelor to a little later in life, meeting a woman, and boom, 3 kids.
Yeah, I'd worked in bars and restaurants all through college.
Okay.
So at 41 years old, I had the opportunity to open up my own bar. I'd been a lifelong bachelor. So instead of chasing women and chasing beers, I figured they would have to come to me.
Yeah.
Well, the best laid plans, as they say.
They came to you.
Yeah, right. 6 months after we opened the doors, this woman walks in and steals my heart. It was my wife. 8 months later, we were married. And all of a sudden, I had no use for a bar anymore. It was like excess inventory, so I sold it.
Okay.
Mission accomplished.
Yes. And what do you do now?
Now I'm a full-time writer.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Well, that worked out.
My wife's a teacher, and then we have our. If you notice on the cover, this is a long photo shoot. I'm the one in the middle, with the one with the exasperated face. And at this point in the shoot, I'm wishing I had hired real child models. The kind you could fire at will and boss around.
That is sincerely your family.
That's my family.
Okay.
Yeah. That's my Tommy, Elizabeth, and Emily. And
They're beautiful, by the way.
they're great kids. They're beautiful kids.
Yeah.
And they worked for less than peanuts. They worked for ice cubes.
So you wrote this book thinking that eventually, with all your missteps, your kids are going to want to read this, and you're onto it. You're not oblivious to what's going on.
I'm not oblivious to it. I see what's going on, and the whole book is about it's the conflict between having a dad's responsibilities with a bachelor's brain. I adopted that quickly to being a dad. It's a very slow process.
It's hard, isn't it?
I still have these lapses, and I go back to my bachelor thinking. We'll go into a restaurant and I'll order something that I want to eat, thinking that it's going to go in my mouth and in my stomach. The kids rip it out of my hands, and then I try to order something that they're going to like, and they don't like it. I'm stuck eating it. It's just the whole conflict.
Can you tell me on a serious or not serious note, but for all of the women who are with us, what's the one thing we should know about our husbands? Something that's going on in their mind that we just don't get or we don't appreciate?
This book spills the beans. I'm letting everything out of the closet. So if the women want to know exactly what your man is thinking, especially the last chapter in here, the secret's out of the closet.
Okay.
This is a peek into your man's brain right here.
All right. Well, good. Where can we get this book, by the way?
The book is available. I have a special arrangement with the Book Loft in Germantown. They have signed autographed copies of my book, and it's also on Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
And we put a link right here to your
great.
website, all right? That's on myfox28columbus.com. You just go there, click on news links, and you can get that book.
Terrific.
Grown locally, done locally.
That's right.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.